Food first enters the mouth. Mastication, chewing of the food, mixes it with saliva, secreted by salivary glands. In addition to mucus and various microbial agents, saliva contains salivary amylase, an enzyme that can catalyze the partial digestion of starch. Deglutition, or swallowing, has 3 phases: oral, pharyngeal, and esophageal. Swallowing is a complex activity that requires coordination of 25 pairs of muscles in the mouth, pharynx, and esophagus. The pharyngeal and esophageal phases are automatic and controlled by the swallowing center in the brainstem. Food then moves to the esophagus, which connects the pharynx to the stomach. It is lined with non-keratinized, stratified squamous epithelium tissue and is lined with smooth and skeletal muscle. It moves food through esophagus using peristalsis contractions. Next, food moves to the stomach. In the stomach, it stores food, digestion of protein, and creates chyme. Parietal cells secrete HCl, chief cells secrete pepsinogen, and gastric mucosa secretes intrinsic factor, which is required for intestinal absorption of vitamin B12, which is used for production of red blood cells.
We then move down to the small intestine, where there are 2 types of contractions. The first type is peristalsis, which is a wave-like contraction. The second type is segmentation, which mixes chyme more thoroughly. Muscular constriction of the lumen at different intestinal segments forces the food to move. Digestive enzymes hydrolyze disaccharides, polypeptides, and other substrates. Enterokinesis is required for activation of trypsin, which helps break down proteins. This is also where most of the digestion occurs. We then move on to the large intestines, which is where absorption of water occurs as a result of osmotic gradient created by the active transport of ions. About 1.5 to 2 liters of fluid passes through the large intestines. It absorbs 90% of the fluids and the rest is excreted. We then travel down to the rectum. After electrolytes and water have been absorbed, the waste material passes to the rectum, leading to an increase in rectal pressure, relaxation of the internal anal sphincter, and the urge to defecate. During the act of defecation, the longitudinal rectal muscle contracts to increase rectal pressure. Internal and external anal sphincter muscles relax. Excretion is aided by contraction, which helps push feces from the rectum through the anal canal and out through the anus.
Other organs that aid in the process of digestion include the liver. The functions of the liver include bile production and secretion, detoxification of blood, which can remove hormones, drugs, and other biologically active molecules from blood by excretion in bile, phagocytosis by Kupffer cells, and chemical alteration within the hepatocytes. Secretion of glucose, triglycerides, and ketone bodies, which helps regulate blood glucose levels. Production of plasma proteins. Next is the gallbladder, which stores and concentrates bile. It allows for a 35 milliliter to 100 milliliter storage capacity.
Another organ that aids with digestion is the pancreas. Pancreatic juices contain bicarbonate and other enzymes. Some of these enzymes include amylase, which digests starch, trypsin, which digests proteins, and lipase, which digests triglycerides. So to summarize, food goes in through the mouth, down through the esophagus, into the stomach, to the small intestines, and then to the large intestines, down to the rectum, and out through the anus. And other organs such as the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas assist with breaking down enzymes. And now you know all about the digestive system. And that concludes our presentation.